Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. Let's get started with our hosts, Linda McKissack and Dana Gentry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. I'm Linda McKissack.
And I'm Dana Gentry.
Hey, Dana, I feel like it's been forever since we just got to talk, you and I.
I know. It has been too long.
I know. We do a text every once in a while, and then we disappear.
I know. And I've had so many things to tell you, but first one being that, look what I have.
Oh, yay. Did they come to your area? Crisp apple Ollipops for those that can't see.
The crisp apple Ollipops. No, they're on Amazon.
Yeah, that's where I found some too.
Yes, I'm so excited. And I've got Adam is so addicted to them. It's not even funny. He's obsessed.
I know. I love it. It's so funny. I take mine to restaurants instead of drinking Diet Coke. I'll say, can you bring me a cup of ice? And they look at me like, oh, are you bringing liquor in or something? I'm like, no, it's just my healthy drink.
I know. I take mine. I packed mine in my suitcase the last 2 times I traveled. Because it really is so much better. I mean, they're so much better for you.
Yeah, so true. So based on that, you and I decided we're just going to do one on ketchup. People have been requesting that we just do a ketchup. So let's start with health, because Ollipop is in our health category of, I think I originally discovered them because you're the girl you follow. What's her name?
Amy McDalia. Yeah.
And it's on her approved list only. And Zivia, which we were drinking, isn't on her approved list.
Is not. I know.
So Jimmy still drinks those, and I've switched to Ollipops. And then when I was in Montana getting some, the girl said to me, oh man, if the crisp apple ones come out, you got to grab them because I can't keep them around here. Yep. And then I brought you some to family reunion. And so now, we're all
obsessed.
Yeah, they're all good. So kind of what else? Anything else you're doing? I know you've been kind of eating healthy or something, seemed like.
Yes, I'm proud to report I've lost 7 pounds. Although I still have, I'd like to lose about 5 more. But I'm really just trying to follow everything on her list. Honestly, I'm trying to do, and this is so funny. I was going to tell you this. I was going to text you and tell you this, and I didn't, because the girls were making fun of me. But once you start not eating processed food for so long, I went to get, and this is non-disparaging towards Jimmy John's because I've loved Jimmy John's for so long, but I hadn't had anything like that in a few weeks. And I went and got a Jimmy John's. Heather and I were driving back from one of the market centers and we were starved. We had ate all day. And I found that I have done good because I have to take stuff with me. Like I have everybody is like, where's your snack bag? I'm like, no, I have to have the approved beef sticks, the approved chips, the approved, anything that's not processed that has those natural ingredients in it, or I'll be bad. But I went to Jimmy John's. I took 3 bites and it tasted like Clorox wipes. I couldn't finish it. And I found myself doing that 2 or 3 times recently because I think I'm just not used to eating. It's like once you go to the non-processed side for a minute, then when you do eat processed food, it's tastes weird to me. Yeah.
In the past, I would do it for a short period of time, and I would never really understand what people would say, oh, your taste buds will change, because I actually never did it long enough for my taste buds to change.
Yep.
But since I've been doing the Healing Your Gut program since last, I guess, end of June, maybe 1st of July, it's been long enough now that when Jimmy goes, hey, do you want to go out to eat? I'm like, no, not really, because nothing sounds good, or if I do eat it, I feel horrible afterwards. So I think the period of time may be a little bit longer than they tell everybody for your taste buds to change. But, and I had to, with this program, stay really, really strict. So I learned a couple of things that really worked well for me was, have those little ice packs, keep my healthy food frozen. So my regimen is through the week, Betty chops up all the vegetables, carrots, cabbage, celery, zucchini, and white sweet potatoes. And those are always
you and Betty got me hooked on the white sweet potatoes.
Yes.
And we put those in the air fryer all the time now.
Yep. Well, I've taken them. I've kind of got tired of them in the air fryer. So what we started doing is cutting them a lot thinner and putting them with olive oil and in a small pan, because olive oil is approved oil for us.
Yep.
And just frying them like a French fry. And they're so good. And then using sumac on everything, which is an approved spice that she loves, and I've started noticing that at some restaurants and stuff. But what I found was a small air fryer that you can travel with.
Love it.
So I got a small air try, but most of the places I go to have a kitchen. Like Press and Anna's house has a kitchen. San Diego has a kitchen. Montana has a kitchen. But like if I'm going to go somewhere and there's not a kitchen, the hotels no longer do microwaves.
I know.
And they no longer do refrigerators. So those become a little more difficult. But I found now I'm doing it because I don't want to have to eat out that many days in a row. It just doesn't. I don't feel it as good. So a couple of things changed with me. I don't know if I told everybody I was struggling with. I showed up to have Lyme in my blood and mold. And so we just recently, I've kind of struggled with fatigue, but I'm one of those people, I just push past it. You wouldn't even be able to tell it. I just get through it anyway. But literally by 5 o'clock, I'm like throwing on my pajamas and just don't even ask me to do a thing. But so we had all of our HVAC units switched out. Oh my God. Within 48 hours, my energy came back. I never dreamed that would be that effective. But then when we thought about it, this house has been here since 90s, 98 or something. And that's a long time. The ducts probably have never been cleaned. The AC units were old. We needed new AC units anyway. But I was shocked.
You completely had it all, everything done?
Not all the ductwork, because some of the ductwork is. Now, if I'd have known this in 2019 when our house flooded, we could have replaced every bit of the ductwork because the ceilings were down where some of the ductwork is. So we weren't able to do all of the ductwork. We did majority, and then they came in and cleaned the rest of the ductwork.
Wow.
So, I mean, but even before they clean the ductwork, within 48 hours, I totally 100% could tell. It's like the weirdest thing. I had no idea because, part of me kind of thought, oh, this can't be, but it really, really is. So the other big helper for me is I do regular B12 shots and glutathione. Now, glutathione is like the magic.
I've been doing glutathione.
Oh, my gosh. It's the magic thing. I'll probably do that the rest of my life. It's the magic.
Now, how often are you taking that?
I have my doctor subscribe it, and I get a shot every day. But my glutathione is low. When I do labs, I'm low. So, but every day.
Okay, so I'm only doing that when I get a vitamin IV drip, which is usually once or twice a month, and they inject that at the end when the drip is over. So she comes back in, and before she takes out my IV, she shoots me with that. Yeah.
One of the first places you'll notice the difference is your skin. Totally changes your skin. It's unbelievable. So that would be something I probably do forever.
Okay, so not on the skin. Well, I'm psycho with my skin regimen and stuff anyway, but not on the skin, but on the hair. I've been hearing, and I haven't done this yet, but I've been hearing this, and actually I got to pull it up right now. And I'm getting ready to talk to Adam. I told Adam I hope the Easter Bunny brings me this, but I'm wanting one of those.
Oh, now the Easter Bunny brings presents. I'm sure Adam, I can just see Adam rolling his eyes. Oh, the Easter Bunny.
Yeah.
Since when was that like Christmas?
Well, that's exactly what he said, because I've been on a red light lately because I'm just trying to, somehow I'll go through stages, where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to spend money for like 3 or 4 months, and I'll just really, really work on it. And then I saw these really super cute new Gucci shoes. And so I jokingly sent them to him on Instagram and said, in case you are having any conversations with the Easter Bunny. And he wrote back and said, the Easter Bunny doesn't know Gucci. And I'm like, but he could though.
Oh my, please don't show them to me. Please. I do not want to see them.
Oh, I know. They're so cute. Man, I cannot get this to pull up. Okay. But I'm really wanting to I am going to get one of the, do you guys have a water purification system in your house?
What I have is, alkaline. So I've never looked past alkaline water, and which I'm not even, I did ask my girl because low acid is a problem for a lot of people with their digestive system, but she said it won't affect that. So I could just keep drinking my alkaline water, but all I've ever had is an alkaline, system on my kitchen sink.
Okay. I found it. It's not very expensive. It's like $165. I just need to go ahead and bite the bullet on it, but it's $165. It's called the Jolie filtered shower head. And it's the one that Amy approves. And, my friend Mandy got it and loved it. And they're on Amazon, and it's 160. This is not the whole house. I looked at the whole house filtration system, and it was like $7 or $8 grand. Yeah. But you can get them individually. We don't really drink water out of our faucet anyway, because we have a water thing. But but you can get these Jolie's for your shower heads. And it's because I keep feeling like my hair is getting dry, like when I'm in South Carolina versus when I'm in Kentucky. And so someone said it was because the water is different. But then I've been doing all this research on these Jolie filtered shower heads, and they're supposed to be like amazing for your hair and your skin and all sorts of stuff. So I don't know. I think this is going to be my next purchase. Yeah.
Another thing that I would, because I've been listening to a lot of podcasts about myotoxins, because if you think about it, somebody came out with a YouTube video the other day about Lululemon's yoga pants. I'm going to be screwed if those are not healthy.
No, I haven't heard that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the BPA on them is like through the roof.
Wow.
So anyway, back on the subject, we're going to hear more and more, like, because of your phones, because you can be a fanatic on all this, but I also do believe that there's a lot of validity in all this stuff. And for some people, when their immune system gets low, it's going to start to affect them. One girl I was listening to the other day said that she thought the long haul COVID was actually people's line that was getting activated from having COVID, which that could be.
Wow.
But so I would recommend, and they're not very expensive, but air filters. Air Doctor makes a really good air filter that most people recommend. And we've started putting air filters in our house just to try to help eliminate, everything that has an off gassing, which everything does now.
Everything does. What are some of the podcasts you've been listening to about that stuff?
Well, because I have been trying to figure out this stupid mold thing. A lot of them have been around mold, but a lot of them talk about all kinds of myotoxins.
Okay.
And then, of course, I've always listened to like the biohacking ones. Sauna is something I always do. I've been doing that more regularly with a binder to get rid of the mold that I've had in my blood. And I'll retest in about 2 weeks. And if it's any indicator how much better I feel with my energy, I will notice a big difference just by what we've done so far. And we're still going to do a little bit more. We're still going to do some fogging and some whole house cleaning. And I think all that will hopefully do the rest.
Yeah.
So,
our house in Charleston we probably need our ducts cleaned. We did not do that when we moved in, and it's old. It's old. So I think that, that's probably a good thing too. I was getting ready to ask you one other thing.
So what have you done in money or investing? I know we both have been like really digging into wealth building and.
Okay. One more thing before I go to that is I texted you this, but I did get, Dr. Amen's
new
yes. Okay. It's Change Your Brain Every Day. I did not realize this when I bought this, but it's a daily thing. Like you just read one page a day. Yeah. It's just it's 365 and it's all the different ways to but I love it. I actually read a couple of days ahead last night because I just was loving it so much, but I wanted to share in here. He said, the most important tiny habit you'll learn is this. Whenever you come to a decision point in your day, ask yourself, is this good for my brain or bad for it? It'll only take you 3 seconds to answer. And if you can answer the question with information and love, you will quickly have a better brain. And he tells all these stories. Like he shows pictures in here of people's brains. And then did yours look like that when you had that brain scan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They showed me all the shaded places and what it meant and all that stuff.
Yes. Okay. So then he gives all these real life examples of people who had, I don't know, brain fog or brain issues or whatever. And then the things that he told them to do. And then 3 to 5 to 10 years later, they come back and get their brain scanned and their brain is totally different.
So give me an example of something he would tell you to. I don't even know what you do for your brain. Do you?
Okay. He has a ton of them in here. Yes. Hold on. Well, he gives you all these different examples, but, and he teaches you one every day, which is why you're supposed to do in here, but he says that it's an organ. Some of them are easy things, like, not that I do this, but this one page in here is like, don't smoke marijuana. Okay. Well, I feel like I've never really done that. So I don't have an issue with my brain with that, but he talks about smoking, drinking. He talks about 15 toxins that can damage your brain. Like, if you're overexposed to automobile exhaust. So like if you work around a lot of, carbon monoxide or automobile exhaust every day. If you're in a city that has really high air pollution, have you been exposed to wildfires? Do you come in contact with chemicals on a regular basis? And like do you use a lot of artificial sweeteners is a huge one, like aspartame, Splenda, Sweet and Low. Do you have mercury, something fillings in your teeth?
Oh, yeah. Amalgams.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Do you use plastic containers to store food and drink? Oh my gosh. I listened to a podcast that now it's like, I'm not wanting to drink out of plastic water bottles anymore.
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy. It's like, so there's all these things. I mean, he talks about even like practicing. One of the things he has in here is practicing gratitude, which, we say that all the time, but like if you actually spend 1 minute and write down 10 things, he shows all these differences in here. Your weight has a lot to do. I mean, there's willpower, letting your blood sugar get too low is terrible for your brain, not getting enough sleep. I mean, there's a million things in this whole book. I don't know, I'm learning it, but it is really cool. And so now I'm on this thing where I'm like, man, I really need to think about if that's good or bad for my brain or not.
Yeah, that's a good question. I've never really thought about that. And the things they tell you to do, like meditation, which I'm sure meditation is so flipping hard. But yeah. I'm also one of those that once I know I need to do something, like one of my things I didn't mention a while ago is what I'm loving is, I did that 66-day challenge for stretching and then realized I wasn't going to stretch.
Yeah.
So I found a stretch lab and I go there, and between what my trainer stretches me and they stretch me, I can still feel committed to my 66-day stretch challenge. There's always a way. And so meditation is one of those things where I really struggle. So I'm like, okay, there's got to be a way. I don't know. Maybe there's a meditation place I can go to right after my stretch lab. But here's a perfect example. Also trying to stack them. So one of the things that they always say is breaths, 4 in, hold it for 5, 6 out, something like that. 4, 5, 6 is a rhythm. Well, I'm terrible about that. I hold my breath all day long, literally. Short breaths, hold it most of the time. Even when I'm working out, my trainer say, breathe, So what I've found is, okay, like when I'm at the stretch lab, it's freaking painful. So it forces me to breathe my breathing. Oh. So I'm looking for something with meditation that I can stack it onto something else and some easy way to do it. So something will pop up, but meditation is really high on the list when it talks about getting rid of stress in your brain.
So, my friends Josh and Heath. So Josh does meditation, guided meditations on he has an app, and he was looking to figure out a way to do something like that. And so typically at night he sits in his hot tub before he goes to bed because it just relaxes him and calms him down. So now he's done this for a couple years, but when he gets in his hot tub at night, he takes his ear pods and he does the guided meditation for the first 10 or 15 minutes while he's in the hot tub. Now Heath jokes, Heath's we get in the hot tub and Josh gets in this trance and you can't even do anything with him. But Josh said that it was the only way that he could do it because, we all try to meditate and we sit there and after 3 seconds, you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do this and I got to do that on my phone, And so these take you through a guided, but he attaches it to the hot tub because he knows he's going to get in the hot tub every night before he goes to bed.
Yeah, and I could do that with my sauna because I pretty much get in the sauna, but I'm kind of spoiled because I like to listen to podcasts in my sauna.
Yeah.
So, but there's always a way, I think, and so I'm going to get that book because I saw it at his clinic when Diana and I did the brain scan, but I didn't pick up the book.
It's really good. Yeah, I mean, and even if you just do 1 page a day, but even the very first one, I'll tell you this really fast. He gives you, the reason you'll love this, he gives you an action item at the end of every day. And sometimes it's just answering a question. But last night's was list 3 reasons why you want or need a better brain. And my number 1 is because my mamaw died of Alzheimer's. And he talks about that in the book. So even if you have any sort of history of dementia or Alzheimer's or anything like that, your brain is equally more important. And then I said, because I want to live longer and healthier. But he has you do a little thing at the end that you kind of talk about whether today I'm going to do this at night, but today's is make a list of 10 of your friends and how many of them have needed help for their brain or mind in some way or another. He gives you just a little action item and you write it at the end. But I think that's so cool.
That is cool. And they say that a lot of Alzheimer's is actually misdiagnosed mild toxin exposure. That if they could get out of whatever the exposure that they're exposed to, their brains would actually get better. Yeah. And I believe that because in our group that Bailey and I do, some of those people are so exposed to different things that they can't even make a sentence. They try and they know what they're trying to say, but they can't get it to come out. But you get out of that exposure and get healed, and all of a sudden it's just back like it was.
You know, it's crazy because, you know, Adam's dad died, what was that, 3 or 4 years ago, of Parkinson's. And nobody had ever had Parkinson's in his family. I mean, he was super healthy his whole life, but he was around pole chemicals every day, his whole entire life. And you don't know if that's, but you know, now that I know some of this stuff, I'm like, man, like really what we are around and what we put in our bodies. I mean, Adam tells me all the time, just don't spiral. Cause part of me, you know, you want to like never have anything BPA in your whole house. I mean, you can go to an extreme, but then I think, gosh, even if you're just doing a little bit, that's better than not doing anything. Yeah.
Well, and I love in your Amy stuff, she has a list, and you kind of list, because that's kind of the way I've approached this mold thing is I'm like, I'm not moving completely out of my house. I'm not going to do, I'm going to do one little thing at a time.
Yep.
And each thing I do, as I change it out or do it, I'm going to make it better. And I think that's all you can do. Going hog wild on all of it would be nuts, right?
Yeah.
But you could start, number one, just be aware. Most of the time we're just not even aware, right? And so just each little thing that you can become aware of and put a little habit in. Like every night, Jimmy and I wear our blue blocking glasses at a certain time for TV. And what's funny is within a few minutes, we start yawning.
Wow.
And, you know, used to, we just watch TV and then wonder why our sleep isn't that great.
Yeah.
So just as you learn these things, if you can just do one little thing at a time. And I love, you know, the way your Amy girl did it. She had you make a list and then just say, this month, I'm going to work on these areas.
Yeah.
You know,
she just came out with her, I'm going to send this to you today. Well, really, I'll send it to you for you to send to Betty. But she just came out with, she released like her 30 best recipes. And then she tells you what, and they're so good. I'll send it to you. I've been making some, but they're easy, like super easy, but they're all good, you know, non-processed stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love it. Okay. Money. What have you done on money lately?
So
we'll do money, and if we have time, we'll do books. But if not, we'll just do money, and we'll do books on the next one.
Yep, I just had 2 books, but one of them I just shared was the Change Your Brain Every Day. So on the money front, I feel like I have, for the first time ever, I've been a little stressed, and I think it's because I'm used to having a lot of I like to keep kind of a lot of cash. And I've had so many things lately that we're building the 6-plex. We're investing in these multifamilies. We started this store in Charleston. Like there's so many things that I've taken a lot of cash and put into lately. And I've been trying to like really read and research, because then at the same time, the market is shifting a little bit. Right. And so it's like now, you know, I don't know. So Adam and I have been talking about this a lot, but we are investing in real estate. I mean, we're just going back to, it's what we know, it's what we love, it's what we do every single day. And so how many more of the deals can we get into? I've been in charge of the single families and nightlies, and he's been in charge of the multifamily stuff, so that we can because that stuff I don't really understand as much, and he loves that and understands it and has made really great returns. I tend to like more of the regular old rentals.
Yeah.
So we've been dividing and conquering, but right now we're just looking for deals, honestly, in the real estate space. We want to do, we're hopefully getting ready to do a condo in Florida. Just trying to do things that we can get good deals on. Actually, you would be so proud of me. I've been holding, I've saved on my phone and my favorites, and the 10 your guys's, what do you call it? Hold on. I just sent it to somebody today, but the, here it is, the 10 hold strategies. And like, I just keep looking at these over and over on the stuff that we're on, the deals that we're looking at, like buying 10% below market value. Well, sometimes that's hard right now, to be honest, because, you know, you got to find a good deal.
Yeah, you do. And I was going to tell you, here's where people get in trouble when the market's going up. They bet on something and the price is high. And they bet on something and it has to do some kind of performance in the future that you don't know if it's going to do or not. That's where speculation lies, and that's where risk lies. So we stay away from all of those. And if it's good, even if it, let's just say it's just an okay deal right now, but you put enough money down to give you like that 70 to 30 loan to value ratio, and somebody else pays it off. The only risk you have is if the market went to heck and they couldn't pay the payments and you couldn't either, right? So it'd have to be something catastrophic. So that's why we pretty much stay in anything that's, kind of those rules. They just have never let us down. And we bought in up markets and we bought in down markets. I think it's when people come out of a really hot market and they're looking at everything that's still those hot prices and they're not realizing, okay, we don't know if this is going to do this the next 5 years. Odds are it's not going to do that. And now what's going to happen? So we don't bet on anything where we have to wait for that return in the future. That makes sense.
Totally.
Okay.
Well, and I love your guys' number 5 and number 6. Number 5 is get a 15-year loan if possible, like 15-year over a 30. And really, I do. I'm going to be 40 this year. So us looking at like what we've been saying is, okay, if we're doing 30, then how can we make the extra payments and stuff just to get them paid off quick? And if we can afford the payment on a 15, then going ahead and doing a 15 just so we can get it. And then your number 6 is buy newer if possible. So that's why I'm excited about these sixplexes. I'm looking at another new construction deal right now because you don't have to worry about fixings. You know what I mean? I mean, you may, but not as much as if you're buying something that's older.
Yeah, so true. Yeah. Well, and again, I think we see it over and over again that, you just stay away from things you don't really understand or that you're betting on someone else. We don't really bet on anybody else that we don't know really well. Yeah. And we haven't seen the proof of their results. And so, we stay away from, from things like that. So a couple of things that we've done lately, Jimmy's done a really good job of going to our banks and negotiating 4.25% interest on our money, which is not bad compared to everything. Yeah. The other thing is we've loaned money for a refinance to get a same interest rate that we could get at the bank. That wasn't too bad. That was a family member. And then we're just keeping more of what we know. We're building more cabins because we see that market just getting better and better. And you're seeing more and more regulations in other places that they can't do VRBOs. And we're in an area that is VRBO. So we feel really, really confident about that. Other than that, we're just kind of sitting on the sideline waiting to see what else happens. If a good deal comes, we've got a couple of people that look for us at all times and we just evaluate those deals as they come. But, any movement forward is better than nothing. Right. And I think in this market, if you could, and I always go back to Dave Ramsey's book. I can't remember which one it is, but I've read it before and we didn't even have credit card debt, but it's such hope that I think if you read his book, I think it's Financial Peace or something like that. There's so much good hope in that, that you could take those same strategies right now and just say, let's go see where all we can save money. Like make a game out of going through your monthly statement and all the things you've signed up for automatic that you're not using, cut out, places where you kind of not paying attention how much you're spending, pay attention to how much, just making a game out of it so that you can start hoarding some money. And because Jimmy and some people kind of feel like, we still have some opportunities that are coming. And so being able to be ready for those opportunities is kind of what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. And I think, I did want you to share when you guys originally were talking about you found a bank or had a bank or something that was going to give you more on your cash in the bank. And then Jimmy actually going back and they all said yes because they didn't want to lose your business, right? Yeah.
And especially right now, when you think about what's happened in the bank, in California, bankers got really nervous that everybody was going to get nervous and pull their money out. And that would be that would be devastating, right? So he would, if one bank did more, he'd go back to the other bank. And then of course they'd always match it. So that's good. And then, we've kind of managed to find our way into a couple of bank stocks, where if you have great banking relationship, we have a great interview. I don't know when it's coming out, but Jimmy and I do Everything Life and Financial Freedom. And we interviewed our banker, who's been our banker for 30 years. He's also been a good friend. Yeah. And so we had him talk about, just what do they look for? And what should people know if they're wanting to go get money from a banker, and what kind of relationship should you expect? And it's really good because it's from him. He's retired now, but who knows, he might do something in the future. And if he did something in the future, we would just probably follow him anywhere. He's just, he's just somebody who's been with us from the very beginning. And we ask, why did you believe in us when really, honestly, probably on paper, we didn't look that good.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really good. He talks about it's a relationship, and community banks want to invest back into the communities. And so even if you did nothing right now, but go get a great relationship with a community bank, not these big banks or corporate banks, but and started that, any movement towards some of that stuff is going to help. Doing nothing is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah,
and if you don't have any money right now, then go start those relationships. Go start practicing, learning the 10 rules that we have about investment properties. Start moving yourself towards those things, because this is the time. They say more wealth changes hands in a down market than ever in an up market. Mm-hmm. So you just got to kind of be preparing yourself, and you got to want it bad enough to cut back somewhere. And the money's there. You're either driving it, wearing it, eating it, something, living in it, something,
drinking it.
Yeah. So
$2.88 a piece.
It's so funny. My sister found out, I don't know where she bought them from, but she found out that if she buys them in the 4-pack, they're a little bit cheaper. So I'm like, go for it.
They have the 4-pack at Whole Foods. Yeah.
Save me money, Betty. Go save me money.
I love it. I do think it's important too. I bank with a local bank. I always have. Adam banked with a not big bank in Charleston, and we've joked forever because he'll say, "Your bank's always you're so easy. They don't even ask you when you ask them for money about something." Versus, so now I've slowly switched Adam over because there is a huge difference. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that one thing alone makes a big difference right there. So put all your money in local community banks. Get to know those people, and maybe write up somebody's career with them. We wrote up Tony's career with him and followed him to every bank he ever sold to. So it paid off in the long run.
Yeah,
so
love it.
All right, any final thoughts? Anything else? See what else? Stretch Lab. I did mention that. I'm loving Stretch Lab. I'm loving your stupid lip oil you got me on, cherry oil. Love that.
Oh my gosh!
I'm loving a new system that I got for my. I found file folders that have every day of the week because I'm so disorganized, and I had all these requests to speak and talk, but I had no way to say where's my stuff for this week, right? I hate a digital calendar. It had me so screwed up from that. So I bought these file folders that you actually put like Monday. What have I got Monday? And if I, somebody will send me a request and say, hey, will you do this Zoom on Monday? I can put it in Monday and not think about it till Monday.
I love that.
I don't know if you're like me, but I'm searching around for that email or that thing. Oh, yeah. And I'm still a paper person. So I just found a really good system to get and I had to get my energy back, which I got my energy back. And I just thought, okay, I need a better system in this office. I am so disorganized. I can't find anything. Everything's, my cup says organized people are just too lazy to look for things. Well, that causes me lots of problems thinking like that. But so I put a new system in place for my calls and my appointments, and that's really helped a ton. I just really thought through what does my brain need for how I work? And my brain needs to say, okay, when something comes across my desk, I'm going to put it in the file folder that says Monday. So like this week, coming up next week, I've got 2 speaking things. They're already ready. The PowerPoints are already done. My notes are already done. They're in that folder that says that day.
I love
that. I don't
have
to worry about it. And then I have a few that's for in the future. Like I'm going to speak for Bruce Hardy, and I've got something for Nikki. Those are in, to-dos, and it's coming up, and it'll get moved to a day of the week, and I'll grab them and when I travel. Yeah. So just finding that system and that rhythm that works for your brain has been super helpful for me because my brain's just all over the place.
Mine is too. And I'm still majorly a paper person. And now not only am I a paper person, but I laminate all the important things. And so I have all these laminated pieces of paper everywhere now. But we actually just went back to this week, paper calendars inside of our market centers because and we're still doing it, on the online and on our app and on all that other stuff. But I kept saying to them, I feel like I missed the day when I could walk in the front door of our Keller Williams office and just grab the calendar from the front, grab a copy from the front desk and hold it with my stuff for the rest of the month and look at and I'm like, I almost think we have to do both. Like, I don't think that we're ever going to get to a place where we can go 100% digital because not everybody is going to want to do that. I mean, I still have to have these paper calendar, I live by this calendar every single month. I think we're going back to that.
Is that a month at a glance calendar or is that a digital that you printed?
It's a month at a glance and I just write it in with pencil. And I mean, it's just.
Did you just print the papers or did you buy that book?
No, I just printed them from Google. I mean,
Okay.
and I have it for the whole year. And then,
How do you get those spaces so big? Mine's small.
oh, really? I don't know. I just Google like free April 2023 calendar, and then, or you know what I mean? And then you can print out every sheet. Actually, I'm looking at Adams is right here too, because he started doing the same exact thing. I'm actually in his office today.
Yeah, love it.
No, I have to. Oh my gosh, I could not live without these month at a glance paper calendars. No, not at all.
One thing I want to add before we wrap up is we kind of spent this month thinking about, what are we doing with our family? Because we get so busy, making sure that we're spending quality time with each of our family. And then also any of our friends that we've kind of lost touch with. So Jimmy had this business partner for years in the nightclub business and in the billiards business and stuff, and restaurant business. And he's just was always been a great partner. We even had some investment properties, and I think we have one property left with him. But he had an incident recently where he ignored all of his signs about a stroke and had a mini stroke. And so one of his eyes kind of went blind, and he still struggles. And so that's because Jimmy had a heart thing a couple of years ago and realized how devastating it can be to have something happen to your health, because it's really, honestly, until we have it happen, we don't think about it. So we were just going to fly up to Branson real quick. And Jimmy said, why don't we invite Roy and Ellen just to go with us? And, it was we had the best time.
Aww.
He got out of the house. We had not done anything with him for a while. We were going to go for 2 days, but our pilot said the first day the weather was here in Texas and headed to Branson. So let's don't even go. So we just went for 24 hours. But, I think sometimes just slowing down long enough to say,
yeah.
Because some people just don't reach out and say, hey, I need a friend or I need some time. And so that really felt good. And it reminded me that maybe part of what I should spend a little more time doing is thinking, who have I not touched lately? Who have I not reached out to? Who have I not seen? And make some kind of system out of it. Because I think if it's not a system for me, I don't do it.
Yeah.
Jimmy's pretty good because if he's experienced something, he'll think of that person. He's probably a little bit better than I am. I just stay so packed. Yeah, which reminds me, I wanted to tell you one of Dan's quote I read recently, and I thought of you, is any entrepreneur too tightly scheduled can't transform.
Oh.
Ouch.
Wow. What book was that from? Is that from Buy Back Your Time?
No, that's just one of his quotes. That's one of Dan Sullivan's quotes.
Oh, it's Dan's. Okay, sorry, it cut out. I missed it. Oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah. So I thought of you, and I thought of me, of course. So basically what I'm saying with that is, we need that little bit of space to kind of think who's getting overlooked in our life. Who have we not touched recently? What are we doing? And I teach this all the time when I teach recruiting, is to think about ways to multiply your time. If we were already going to Branson, instead of us just going, asking who would enjoy a 24-hour trip there, even if they say no, we've at least asked them. And I don't think we do that enough because we're not very good planners. Jimmy and I are very last minute. But I think if I'd make a system out of that and put a list of people, anytime we were going to ride up to Montana or anywhere, why wouldn't we just say, hey, we're going to Montana. Do you want to go with us? We're going to be back in 3 days.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's so good. Yeah.
So anyway, was
it any entrepreneur too tightly scheduled can't transform?
Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Isn't that correct? That one hurts. So we'll end on that one so you can think about it. Everybody can think about it.
When is that book coming out?
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. We'll talk about this probably in another episode, but it is coming out. Look at this, how I've dog-eared and flagged and oh my God. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. It's called 10X is Easier Than 2X. It comes out May 9th.
Oh, okay.
The official release date is. I've already done a couple of talks on it, and I'm just consuming the heck out of every piece of it. It's awesome.
I'm writing that down. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yep, so good. All right, so remember, you have anything final you want to add?
No, I was just going to say, I'm halfway through that Buy Back Your Time, and this is like game changer.
Yeah, I started that. I got to get back to that because this one came and I jumped over to this book. Do you ever do that? Like have 10 books started?
Oh, yeah. Yes, all the time. Yes. But Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell is so good. It's so good. I can't wait to get through with it. I just have so many things I'm trying to read right now. And then John Maxwell's new book just came out. So I just ordered it, but I haven't started it. So I've got a lot. But the Buy Back Your Time is really good.
All right. Well, let's do this on our next episode. You give some key points from Buy Back Your Time, and I'll give you some key points from 10X is Easier and 2X. How about that?
Yes, let's do it. Love it.
Awesome. Yep. So remember, if you have not hit the subscribe button, please go ahead and hit that button below. And the greatest compliment you can give Dana and I is to give us a 5-star review and pass this podcast along to anyone that you think would enjoy these conversations. If you have an opportunity, a challenge, or a question that you would like for us to cover on the podcast, reach out to us at info@everything life and real estate. And Dana, I guess I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. See you then.
Be sure to subscribe for more business strategies and tactics to inspire you to live an abundant real estate life. Don't forget to rate and review so we can bring you the best content. Find this and other valuable information at everythinglifeandrealestate.com.